if I'm a parent, do I want my 18-year-old to go to college where, there's more and more evidence that kids are just not really learning that much in college? I'd rather have them have real life experience, learn the value of a dollar, learn how hard it is to work in the real world, and then in their 20s maybe, if they want to and if they can afford it, they can make the decision to go to college.
Is it even worth it to go to college? Should we spend the tens of thousands of dollars?
People assume that you have to go to college, and I think that a lot of students go without really thinking through the reasons why they want to go. And so some it may be escapism, some it may be pressure from parents. Some students, especially depending on the school that they attend, they feel that there's no other alternative. I mean, to graduate and have all of the other graduating seniors be going to XYZ college and you're not going anywhere. I mean, that's you feel completely alienated.
It's a pretty risky choice to just not go at all. But that said, college to me also serves like a function of delaying what would otherwise be kind of natural things that you would do in your life, like getting married and having kids and all. In some ways, it's almost like college is like a very expensive babysitter for young adults. It keeps us from sort of settling down. And I think to his point, he's talking about sort of expanding your horizons, broadening your view of what's possible. And I think that's hugely important.
That's a really risky idea, because a lot of people will graduate high school and then they'll start making some money, even if it's not great money, and it's going to be hard to go back to school and get an education. I know a lot of people that said, like, oh, maybe I'll take some community college classes,
Definitely.
Dabble a little bit.
And I think that's the big challenge. At the same time, if you're spending, your first 2 years in school paying, $27,000 a year or something, and largely just partying, and I'm not saying that everyone does that, but certainly I can say from my own experience, I did a lot of that, especially my first year. What is the real value of that?
I think there are two things here. The bottom line for one aspect of it is that if you're going to go and be like a firecracker at Harvard, then you don't really need Harvard to be a firecracker. So Harvard's not really the catalyst to you doing that. So if you're going to be successful, you will be, regardless of whether or not you go to college.
Preach it.
But the other aspect of that is that if you go to college and you're kind of getting these life experiences, you're doing it in a bubble. And so there is something to be said for going out into the quote-unquote real world and examining what it's like. And so many people who go back to school later in life or who go to grad school later in life will tell you that they're just such a different person when they go through that experience, and their outlook on the education is so much different, and a lot of times they're expected to pay for it on their own as well.
It's very easy to lay out a dichotomy where, like, okay, I'm finishing I'm graduating from high school, and like I could go to college or I could start a business. How many people are ready to start a business at that age? They have no life skills, no life experience, and they're not ready, I don't think.
That's a fair point, but there are young people out there that do want to be entrepreneurs, and they do have the necessary skills to do it. So it is a tiny, tiny amount of people, but Peter Thiel, who is a business investor, has offered people under the age of 20 $100,000 over 2 years to develop a business idea, and he's willing to invest in it. And I like that. It's an alternative to college, but of course you have to have the skills and the entrepreneurial know-how to do it. Yeah.